Hey, welcome to The Explainer. So today we're diving into something really strange happening in the global economy. I mean, you look around, and almost everything seems to be hitting the brakes, slowing down. But at the same time, investment in the engines of AI, it's going into hyperdrive. So the big question is, why? All right, so here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll lay out this paradox. Then, we got to follow the money, see what's really driving this investment boom. We'll look at the mainstream thinking, the whole bigger is better idea. And then we'll listen to some pretty serious warnings about a potential bubble. And finally, we'll try to piece it all together, figure out a smarter path forward, and I'll leave you with one final big question to think about. Okay, so first up, let's talk about this paradox. Because on one hand, you've got the global economy flashing some serious warning signs. There's this feeling of caution, and it's pretty much everywhere. I mean, just look at the data. Consumer confidence, it's tanking to its lowest point in years. You've got industrial powerhouses like Germany saying, hey, foreign trade is getting really tough. And over in China, industrial profits are sinking, and they're blaming weak demand and these structural adjustment pressures. The whole picture is basically a global engine that's really starting to lose steam. Right, but in the middle of all this gloom and doom, there's this one sector that seems to be living on a different planet. Investment in high tech, and we're talking specifically about the AI servers and data centers that run our digital world, it isn't just holding steady. No, it's actually speeding up. Dramatically. So what on earth is going on here? Why is all this capital flooding into AI while the rest of the economy is just hitting the brakes? To really get that, we need to zoom out a bit and look at the bigger economic picture. You see, this whole weird situation, it's not just random chance. It's basically what happens when two really powerful economic forces smash into each other. So on one side, like we said, global demand is just weak. That makes your traditional industries, think manufacturing, retail, not very exciting places to put your money right now. But at the exact same time, central banks are signaling that they're going to keep money cheap and easy to get. So you have this gigantic pool of cash that's just desperately looking for somewhere, anywhere, that it can find some meaningful growth. And boom, this is where AI walks onto the stage. See, in a world that's basically starving for growth, AI has become the go-to bet. It's promising these incredible productivity gains that no other sector can really touch right now, and that makes it a super powerful magnet for all that cash that has nowhere else to go. Oh, and just a quick reminder, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, turn on notifications, share, and like my videos. The information in this explainer is not investment advice. Thank you. Okay, so with that context, the mainstream way of thinking makes a lot of sense, right? The idea is basically go all in. The conventional wisdom is that the only way you can possibly win this AI race is to just build bigger, faster, and more powerful stuff than anyone else. And this slide, it just lays out that playbook perfectly. It's all about raw computing power. Cramming data centers with as many powerful GPUs as you can possibly get your hands on, all to reach what they call hyperscale. And what's fueling this? Well, high-tech manufacturing is one of the only bright spots left, growing at 10% in China, while other industries are shrinking. So the bet is simple. The money will just keep flowing to the last man standing. But yeah, not everyone's buying it. There's a growing chorus of economists, more critical ones, who are starting to sound the alarm. They're looking at this and saying, hang on, this might not be a healthy tech boom. This looks a lot like a dangerous economic bubble in the making. And they're looking at this whole thing through a specific lens, the idea of rent-seeking. Now, this is a really important economic concept, so stick with me. It's when a company's main goal isn't really to create new value for everybody, but instead to just grab a bigger piece of the existing pie. Maybe by building a monopoly or getting special treatment from the government. The point is, it's about shifting wealth around, not actually creating new wealth. And the big warning here is that, we've seen this kind of thing before. You can see the symptoms already in China's industrial sector, where they're talking about excess capacity that's leading to these brutal price wars. They even have a word for it over there, involution. Just imagine a bunch of people on treadmills, all running faster and faster and faster, but they're not actually going anywhere. They're just burning a ton of energy to stay in the same place. And the fear is that this AI arms race could become the world's most expensive example of that. Billions and billions of dollars just being poured into a zero-sum game. So, if one path is just go bigger, no matter the cost, and the other is a warning about a massive bubble, is there another way, a smarter path forward? Let's take a look at what a more balanced, a more sustainable strategy for AI could actually look like. Yeah, a smarter approach really just means we need to shift our priorities. So instead of being obsessed with brute force, the goal becomes energy efficiency. And instead of just scaling up forever, the focus shifts to cost optimization, building what we actually need to meet real-world demand. This is about grounding AI in solving actual problems, building systems that are resilient enough to handle an economic downturn, and getting ready now for the regulations on data and the environment that we all know are coming. And that brings us to one last pretty provocative thought. Because really, the choices we make today about what to prioritize, that's going to define our world for decades to come. So, I want to leave you with this question to chew on. Is this historic flood of investment actually building the engine for our future prosperity? Or are we just building incredibly expensive monuments to soak up all the idle cash from a slowing global economy? The answer, well, it really depends on the choices we make, starting right now.